Guys, welcome to the Outlier Podcast Festival virtual edition. As many of you know, we do these events 3 times a year in different cities. We were supposed to be in Columbus, Ohio this weekend. Luckily, we're not. I just heard it's snowing there, right?
What?
It's nuts.
Really?
No.
Good thing we're not there.
Yeah. Can you guys believe it?
Can you imagine if we were in Columbus? Wow.
I'm glad we're here.
I'm not built for snow amongst everything else that's going on right now. It would be too much for me.
We've had 2 full days of sessions back to back on podcasting, how to start, how to grow, how to scale, how to monetize, all that good stuff, storytelling, building communities. At the end of the day, we like to have a live fun show. And today it's you guys, my worst date. So welcome Keegan, Christina, Cassi. I'm going to turn the time over to you guys. You guys have about 55 minutes. Have a good time. End whenever you want. But let's make this happen. Welcome.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you so much, Ever. So if you don't know who we are My Worst Date. We are a podcast that shares the very best of the worst dating experiences. Every week we read listener stories. They write into us their most horrifying, mortifying, awkward date stories, and then we relay them to you with our reactions. So usually
sharing
our show
is caring.
It is, and we like to commiserate together. And usually our show is about 2 hours long, so we are condensing our usual format for you guys. But we're really excited to get started.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Joe. We love you too.
We also have a lot of like frank talk about, what it is to date, what it is to like have sex, be a woman, be a man, like all kinds of stuff. So no topic is kind of off limits. I'm kind of referencing our very last show with that, but we have a really great community. Ever spoke to community before this, the podcast community, and getting to talk into someone's ear every week for a couple of years, I think builds a really tight community. And I think it's one that we are all really grateful for. So thank you for taking the time to hang out with us tonight. I love it. So yeah.
And if you're new to our podcast or don't know much about us, Christina, our editor, one of our editors, put together an amazing episode, which is the best of the worst, which we just put out, which was our episode 100. So you get to see kind of here are some of the best of our stories that we've gotten. Plus, you get to hear how our audio has progressed from the beginning.
And then regressed as we've learned how to record remotely. But yeah, it's that episode in particular, going back and listening to 2 years, because a lot of the stories too at the very beginning were my own when I was single for a couple of years and dating, and just having to relive that was kind of a journey. I was like, oh shit, I forgot that happened to me.
Yeah.
Dating's wild.
One of the things that we do every episode, so kind of just a simple, quick format of the show, we initially start the show with just a quick little what's in the news of dating, what's going on in our lives, et cetera, a little chit chat. Then we do an FMK, which is Screw, Marry, Kill. And then
bless your heart.
I know. I don't know whether I should say the F word. F word, marry, kill. So we are NSFW. But we also, then we come back, we share stories, and then we do a segment called Crazy in Love, which is every week one of us shares one of like a story that either ends in some kind of crazy ending, like true story, like maybe it's
usually a relationship true crime element situation is happening.
Yeah, when dating goes really, really, really wrong.
Right. You think you had a bad date. Let me tell you about this lady who drove from Houston to Orlando in a space diaper.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how do we kick these things off? Like what's
Why don't
going
we do
on?
An FMK?
Okay.
And since we are doing Facebook Live, why don't we do something fun and, related to that? Maybe we do FMK, Facebook, Instagram, and
TikTok?
Okay.
I love it.
God.
I love this.
Well, TikTok's the new one, right?
So these are some of my favorite FMKs that we do when we don't do people, but we do like other things. Usually it's food items. Food items have been a big hit. We did it with Girl Scout cookies. We did it with Thanksgiving meals. And I love the idea of doing this with the social media platforms.
Thank you, social media platforms.
I actually think in my gut, I feel like I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
My gut had an
I know what I'm
reaction.
Gonna do. I know what I'm going to do too.
Okay, me too.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to fuck TikTok.
Yeah.
That shit, it be crazy.
Yes.
Because first of all, I'm like, TikTok, you do not know what you're going to get. You go in, you have no idea. You think you know, you don't know. You were going to be surprised. It is going to be a wild evening of shenanigans.
Is on TikTok. Everybody is on TikTok, first of all. And then secondly, you know what? We're out here. I turned 30 this year, so we're all over 30 at this point, okay? And I see people giving a lot of hate to people who are not in their 20s who are on TikTok. And let me tell you guys, it is not just for people who are in their 20s. And I'm not even like actively on TikTok, like making content, but I enjoy it so
I'm a watcher.
much. I enjoy it so much.
I'm in the background.
Creeping through your windows.
You're a voyeur. Yeah, I just think you're right. Shit's gonna get crazy in TikTok. Yes. Things are gonna get wild. TikTok, I'm completely with you on that one.
And that's one of those nights where I'm just like, I mean, you're gonna wake up and you might not feel great about yourself. You're like, wait, what did I do last night?
Did I drink too much?
Did I drinking would be the least of your problems with TikTok. I mean, I'm sorry. That shit's going to get wild.
Go to TikTok with protection.
I bet it was the best night though. We've had this conversation before where it's just like, yeah, maybe it's questionable, but you're going to have a great time.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe you don't talk to people about it later.
You don't tell them.
But deep down in your heart, you know you had a good time.
You bury that deep down and you never bring it up again.
And then I am actually going to kill Instagram. Shocking, I know. And I'll let you know why. Okay, so Facebook it's not going to be the best marriage. It's not.
I would rather
really
marry
not.
TikTok than marry Facebook, I think.
No, honestly, and
this is a hot take.
My answer would have been different if not for the worst date group. Because it's literally the only reason why I get on Facebook now at all. Otherwise, it's garbage. It's garbage. It's my, God bless my mom, posting like animal meme, like weird memes that don't even make sense. It's like a drawn teddy bear and it's like, share if you love your daughter. And I'm like, I love you, Mom.
Sparkles around it.
Does one group a marriage make?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Here's the thing about Facebook. I'm on it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it is good for connecting with my family. Like it's good for that because, you know, a lot of my other family members, especially older family members, are not on other platforms. So it's good for communicating with them. But I think Facebook has given me wrinkles.
Here's what Facebook is. You just fucking nailed it and you solidified it in my head. It's that marriage that's been going on for 22 years and the kids are out of the house and you don't really want to start over again, but you're not really like,
why would you choose that for your marriage? Like, why would you pick that? Like, you're going into this, Christina, making that decision. That's what you want for your life.
No, but here's the thing. Instagram, there's something about it. I really don't like Instagram. Instagram
for a
rubs
voyeur,
me
you would think that
the
you would
wrong
love
way. I don't like it. It feels to me like someone's always trying to sell me something. They're trying. It's fake to me. Where it's like, this is your fake life. This is your fake. Like it's just like I cannot with Instagram. I participate the barest minimum. So I'm like, it's not a good life for me. This fuck, marry, kill. If I'm honest, but. Yeah, I'm sticking with it because you can't marry a TikTok. You can't get married to a wild ride where you're doing bumps of coke off the steering wheel of a car on your way to a club and then doing anal. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. That's not. I'm sorry, but that's what TikTok is. It's fun for one night.
Well, I guess we can say fuck, marry, kill now.
Hold on though. Like, you would rather be in a like repressive marriage to Facebook than in a wild, albeit fun marriage to TikTok.
Yeah, because I mean, I do think like those long-term relationships that are like kind of dead. I'm like, well, I mean, those are the ones where you're like, you know, you get to like have affairs and like you're like go to Italy. I don't know, and then they're like, you're like,
okay.
do you feel like eating
do you think
ribs?
my relationship is a Facebook because I've gone to Italy?
No. I'm talking solo. Like, you're like, I'm going to go to Italy for a month, you know, whatever.
Like my parents.
Deuces, goodbye. Okay, all right. I have to disagree, Christina. I have to disagree. Like, as much as I'm on Facebook and as much as I enjoy interacting with my family members on Facebook, I feel like Facebook has given me high blood pressure and wrinkles. And I can't be with somebody like that long term. I'm going to get an ulcer. So I'm going to kill Facebook.
Okay.
You know, I got to do it. And then I'm going to marry Instagram. I think Instagram is fun. It's like a virtual scrapbook kind of. You know, there's a lot of thirst traps on there. So if you ever get bored, you got options. Okay. I'm just saying, like, Instagram is versatile. I feel like you're going to have a better time. I don't get into fights with people on Instagram.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
What do you
about
think?
You, Cass?
All right, so here it is. I have to kill Facebook. I'm with you, Keegan. Like, honestly, Facebook, there's like literally the other day, Chris was here. I opened up Facebook. The first thing I read, I was like, well, there it is. I'm fucking done. Like,
yeah,
Facebook
we
lately,
gotta say, I wish we could take our group, like our My Worst Facebook group, and like move it to its own thing so that I didn't have to see anything. Honestly, when I open it up, I just go straight to the groups page.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You know
and actually,
what I mean?
to be honest, I feel a little guilty killing Facebook just because the groups in general, that's what
That's
I
true.
live for on Facebook is like
Yeah.
our group and then so
Drinkerinos.
many cat groups.
Oh, the
I'm in
Drinkerinos.
This
so
cat
many
is Nordy.
I'm just looking at cat pictures like
Me
all
too.
day. But you know what? I can do that on Instagram.
True.
So
That's it. I'm wedding shaming. Sorry. That one's good too.
Yeah.
I put my tea hair on and I'm like,
Yeah.
Grandma.
I'm gonna fuck TikTok because
the only answer.
I mean, it's too young and dumb to like have a long-term relationship with, but it is
Amen.
just young and dumb enough to have a really good pounce in the sheets with. So I'm gonna fuck some TikTok. I'm going to marry Instagram, I guess. I've kind of fallen off how much I've loved Instagram lately, but of places, yeah, I mean,
yeah, I
you
don't
know,
feel
it's in and out.
passionately. I don't feel passionately about it, but
Right.
I'm like, I feel like it'll be fine.
right.
It'll be fine.
This is fine. This is fine. It'll
I
keep it lively. It will always be changing. It's
Mhm.
good. Wow. That was all over the place. you
Good
guys.
one.
That
No,
really
it
was. I mean, it got intense, but let's keep it. Yeah, let's keep it real. I
Like we do.
I haven't actually been on like Snapchat, so I'm kind of I think
Yeah,
one of those
kinda-
older. I tried it for a second and
love
I was like, I don't get it. I'm not a teenager and I'm also not having an affair, so I don't understand what the purpose is.
I don't
I
love
like
it.
Snapchat for a while.
Somebody explain it to me. I'm that old person, so
No, I'm the old person who, like, I'm somewhere in between where I did Snapchat. I did the Snapchat thing, and then they reformatted Snapchat, and that's when I was out. I'm like, I'm suddenly like an 80-year-old man, and I'm like, a new thing? Learning a new thing? Absolutely not. I was like, I'm not learning how to use this program.
Mm-mm.
Goodbye. I'll go back to Facebook.
One of the multiple Joe tests asked if we were drinking White Claw, representing. I got
We are.
natural lime.
Girl, I got that
Grapefruit.
grapefruit energy.
It's my backup. It's my
There
backup.
you go. It's the best one. Can we all agree on that? Oh my
Should've worn
God.
a space diaper for this.
Why have we not FMK White Claw flavors?
I don't know, but that's smart.
That's
I
next
mean,
episode.
This is my king.
We
for all
can't do
time.
it until Cassie and I have tried the second variety pack.
That's right. We need the new variety pack.
I'm sending one. I'm Instacarting one to you guys' houses immediately, if
speak.
not
Please
sooner.
do.
I seriously
right.
will do that.
Do we want to
share-
jump into some stories?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's share some stories.
Okay, who is going first? Is it me?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I got this one off of Reddit. She says, blind date. I met the guy at a local coffee shop. He seemed completely normal and charming. So after coffee, we were going to go get an actual meal at a restaurant a couple miles away. I got my purse out of my car and was going to ride with him. As soon as I got in his car, he busted out a huge fucking bag of cocaine and proceeded to tell me he was in debt to MS-13 and he needed help selling this so they wouldn't kill him.
Honey.
Did you just go on a date with TikTok?
I know.
What?
Then he started crying and wouldn't let go of my arm. I thought he was going to rob me, so I threw him $50 and knocked the bag out of his hand so he'd let go of my arm, and I fucking bailed fast.
Wait, was this a first date?
This is a first date. So she's like,
no.
oh, we're vibing, and then gets in the car, and all of a sudden, like, that is... Can you imagine a gang?
No.
Stuff cocaine?
No.
Bye.
Also,
Ow.
risky for him to present that giant bag of cocaine
Right?
to somebody you just met.
What if you were an undercover cop?
Right?
It's true.
Can you
I assume
imagine?
everybody's an undercover cop. Anything I'm trying to do bad, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's undercover. I know it.
Can you imagine if your job as an undercover cop was to go on Tinder and just bust people? So first of all, you have to be like a cop and deal with that shit, but then you also have to be on Tinder. That's
Nobody
literally
gets paid enough. for
nobody
Wait, I kind of feel like that's my dream job.
to go on Tinder and be an undercover cop. You are insane.
that. Yeah, it's a no and it's a no. I'm on board with neither of those things. Those sound awful.
Oh,
Awful. I spent too much time reading bad date stories today to want to be on Tinder literally ever.
So true.
Oh my god.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll go next. And this one
Okay.
is, I don't know why I think this one is so funny. Because we've definitely, like the one that you just told Christina is horrifying and terrifying.
Yeah.
This is different. Okay. And so she says in the beginning, she says, this may not be considered a horror story, but I'm telling it anyway because it was horrifying to me. I met a guy online and we chatted for almost a month before we actually went on our first date. We hit it off immediately and had a lot in common. We laughed a lot and the whole date went really well until the end of the night. You know that end of the night when it's a bit awkward for some and you're waiting for that end of the night kiss or sort of goodbye. I was sitting in the passenger seat in the front of my car and we were both kind of awkwardly leaned in and we went the same way. So it was going to be a miss. So instead of going the opposite, they both went like this. So they were like,
You're like,
it's like when you run into someone in the hallway and you're like doing
you're
that
like,
weird dance.
oh.
She's like kind of hard to explain. Anyway, we both paused and tried to adjust our position. And then he panicked and just kind of went, and then he grabbed me around the neck like I was his little brother and said, come here, you, and proceeds to give me a noogie. Gave me a noogie. Not for long. It hurt slightly and my hair ended up a freaking mess. He let go and I stared blankly at the front of the car. He laughed awkwardly, I laughed awkwardly, and then I got out of the car. Neither one of us ever spoke to each other again.
Was
my
his name
God.
Biff? This is like a Biff move.
I just think that's so funny. It's just like the weirdest thing that could happen to you. Have your date you're connecting with, like on a sexual level, gives you a noogie has to be like the biggest turnoff.
Have you guys ever like had that though, where you were like putting out the vibes, like the kiss me vibes, and then like it didn't like happen, and you were like, oh, okay, like,
Or like,
have you guys had that?
I'm sure that I have. I'm sure
Yeah.
that I have whenever I was in like high school or right out of high school when I was younger. I'm sure.
I can recall right off.
But never a noogie. Like never something so
Never that.
aggressively
Never.
friendshipy.
I gave someone a
Punch on the arm.
handshake one time.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
like, well, I was putting out the kiss vibes, and we're standing looking at each other, not saying anything, and I was like, fully like, I'm doing all the things, like this has worked before, and nothing was happening, and so enough time had passed that it was getting awkward. So then I just put out my hand for a nice solid handshake and got one and went.
How was it? How was the handshake? Was it good?
It was firm. It was firm. It was nice.
I think I go for the high five first.
Up top, bro. Good date.
This
Nice
is the
pasta.
time
Good
of
game,
Corona.
good game,
You're gonna
good
do
game.
like an elbow to elbow situation.
Right.
Just like
And do a wink with a. All right, so
Finger guns.
finger guns. Finger bang. Oh, no, not that. Sorry. Friendly. All right, so my story's kind of long, but it's pretty funny. All right,
Go for it, girl.
so back in 2003, I'd recently moved to North Carolina. I decided
hey,
I was going.
pause. 2003. Let's
Yes.
set the time and place.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
What were you doing in 2003? I was 13. I had a Hello Kitty checkerboard shirt that I got at Hot Topic.
Mhm.
A lot of
Nice.
eyeliner.
Mm.
Yeah, mine 2003 feels very frosty to me. I don't know why. I'm thinking very, very shiny.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe like a powder
Crop
blue
tops.
shimmer eyelid.
Very
I
much
had
straight.
the fuzzy backless crop tops.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
good. I'm glad
working-
we established that.
Working at Charles Penn Zones.
I think I
so.
was wearing a lot of ties for no reason in
Mm.
2003.
It sounds very Avril Lavigne.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
just gonna say that.
Yeah.
All right. So recently moved to North Carolina. I decided I was going to sign up for Match.com and try online dating for the first time. Started messaging a few girls and eventually made a connection and set up a date. We decided to meet at PF Chang's. We had discussed that it was going to be casual, so of course she showed up in an evening gown. First flag.
Wait.
To PF Chang's.
Dude, I have chills. I have full body chills right now. I really do not like being dressed inappropriately for a situation.
I mean, but
And-
she, like, how do you not know? Like, unless you're planning on something like, okay, this is probably around this time, actually. It was probably circa 2005.
3.
I was getting, for me, I was getting ready to move out of state. And me and my girlfriends all put on our prom dresses and went to the Olive Garden.
But you
see, that
planned
was
on
a
it.
calculated
That's right.
choice.
You weren't going on a date with a person for the first time
that
That's
you've
right.
never met.
that you've never
From
met.
Match.com.
She was super gorgeous and looked great in the gown, but also looked completely out of place. Fight or flight kicked in, but she was hot, so I decided to stay and fight. She stood next to me at the bar and ordered 2 glasses of wine. One, she immediately downed. The second, she took a sip and turned to me and said, "Hi." Second flag, kind of. We had some awkward small talk.
Did she
and I
forget
mentioned
you
the
were
evening
there?
gown.
No, I think she like downed the first one like liquid courage, then took a sip
like-
of the second one, and then that's what she needed
Hi.
in order to
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
We had some awkward small talk, and I mentioned her evening gown. She told me that she collects them and decided to wear one tonight to, quote, dazzle me. Third flag, but I'm staying in this. We were seated at a table, and as the server walked up, she ordered a bottle of wine. Fourth flag, okay, she likes wine, and she's hot. I'm still in it. We have more awkward small talk, and eventually order food. And by that time, I have finished my first beer that I had ordered while back at the bar. Just finished his first beer.
She's
So-
like
She's
a
had like
she's
half
a
bottle.
she's a bottle and a half deep.
Oh,
She already finished the bottle of wine and orders another. 5th flag. And now I'm planning my escape.
That's a lot of wine.
Dude, if I'm a bottle and a half deep, I'm incoherent and I
No.
can fucking throw down.
I'm done.
Throw down. I'm not making.
I've actually passed out. Call 911.
And that sounds like a hangover too. Like wine is not one of those. You can't do 2 bottles of wine and be okay.
I
I
mean,
stand.
I
I stand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did almost a bottle like on a Sunday or whatever a couple weeks ago, and when it was hot here, like
But
by
not
the
on a
pool,
first date.
and I was just like, "Ooh, bleh," and that was like an
Dude.
all day thing. So
Same.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, we have to take into account how long has it been? Like 30
He
minutes,
just
45
finished
minutes?
his first beer.
Yeah.
So that's a lot, and that's fast. So I'm planning my escape. I stand and ask if she knows where the restrooms are. And as she is pointing in a direction behind me, I turn to look. I feel a stab of pain in my right ass cheek, which literally makes me flinch in pain. I grab my ass as I turn to see what the fuck just bit me. And she is giggling her ass off, and she is holding a 5-inch long pin, which she just stabbed my ass with. 6th flag, and I'm done. Fuck this. Don't stick your dick in crazy. I love that
She
it's a pep talk for
fucking
himself. Don't do
Stabbed
it.
him.
Stabbed him with a pin in his butt. I walk to the bathroom and go into one of the stalls. I drop my pants, do a hand sweep of my right ass cheek, and my hand comes back with blood.
Oh
my
my
life.
god, no!
I use toilet paper and apply pressure to eventually stop the bleeding. I zip up and go stare at myself in the mirror as I wash my hands and have a Pulp Fiction moment where I say to myself in the mirror, okay, go back out there. Tell her this evening is over, that you are going home.
You know what? I
Don't
think
fucking
when somebody
ever do this
stabs
online
you,
dating shit no
it's
more.
okay to ghost them. I think
It
when
is.
someone stabs you, it's okay to just sneak out the back at that point. Goodbye.
That is assault. That is literally like you could press charges. That's so crazy.
So I walk out and I find the server. I pay the bill and close the check. I tell the server to hold off on serving anything until I'm finished talking with my date, and I am walking to the door. She agrees. As I walk up to the table, I am noticing people are giving me the hairy eyeball, and I realize that my date is silently sobbing at the table. For some reason, I am the asshole in this situation. Maybe they didn't see the assault on my ass, but maybe only the death glare I gave her as I held my ass cheek. I sat down and asked her why she's crying. She said that she fucked up by drinking so much wine, and she thought she was being cute and funny, poking me in the butt with a hat pin. She said it's an antique and she collects those too. I told her that I was pretty shocked and that she had
time
stabbed
out
me with
also.
it.
I'm so sorry. But like antique hat pins were literally like made to hurt people with.
Yeah.
Like
They're long.
there was a whole thing. You can look up like vintage like cartoons, like satirical cartoons that women use them for protection because they were so like long and thick. Like they're not like funny. It's not like using like a little pinprick or like a thumbtack, which is also not nice.
No.
Yeah, it sucks
Oh,
across the board. So I told her that the evening got off on the wrong foot and that I had already paid the bill and that we should try it again another time. Not ever. With that, she snapped out of her sobbing quietly and began yelling at me. Wait, you're leaving? You can't leave me. I said,
You're leaving
look,
me?
The evening has taken a bad turn. I just want to go. She stood up and yelled, no one leaves me. I leave them, and starts marching to the door of the restaurant, forgetting that there were 3 steps that she had to walk down toward the entrance of the restaurant. She took a tumble down the stairs, purse flying, pashmina wrapped around her foot, and landed hard on the bottom step. As I stood there, I was like, what the fuck? Could this date get any fucking worse? And it did. She starts crying and holding her ankle. Servers and managers came running, as well as an off-duty paramedic. They started working on her there, icing and elevating her left leg because she might have broken her ankle. A paramedic calls 911, and within minutes, the ambulance was there. They got her on the gurney and were wheeling her out of the door of the PF Chang's into the ambulance. Throughout the whole scene, I never said a word. I was just an observer, hoping that this was all a shitty dream and hoping that the ambulance door closed. I could just walk to my car unnoticed. Nope. Not so lucky. She started screaming for her boyfriend, the guy she had been on a date with. Everybody looked at me and I started to say, wait, hold on, I'm not her boyfriend. But I was cut off by the paramedic, and they said they are taking her to the Presbyterian Medical Center. Follow them. I got in my car and was taking my time, but the ambulance was fucking waiting for me. I pulled up behind them, flashed my lights, and they took off. Throughout the drive to the hospital, I was thinking of just going home, but I did feel some responsibility to at least see the nightmare through to the end.
Oh my God.
Just go home. You don't owe her anything.
Block and disappear.
Change your name, change your number, move towns.
It was a late night at the ER, and she was getting the full treatment from everyone because she was gorgeous and dressed in an evening gown. She had x-rays which showed no broken bones, so they put her in an air cast and crutches. When she was released, I was there to take her home. She wasn't going to be able to drive her car, which was still at the restaurant. We drove silently for the most part, except for when she was telling me where to turn. We eventually pulled up to her house, and I had to help her out of the car and to her front door, where she asked me to come in. I said the evening was eventful, but I have to go. She then said, well, the evening doesn't have to be a complete disaster. Come on in, sit back on the couch, and let me take care of you with my mouth.
Oh my God.
Did he go in there? Did he go in there?
I literally ran off that porch laughing hysterically.
I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to go in there.
I deleted my account and never used Match.com again. Worst date ever.
Can I say, if we were sitting at a table in PF Chang's and I was just eating some garlic noodles and we saw a fucking chick throwing down in an evening dress like that.
Do you know how excited we would be?
Oh my God. I am so mad that I didn't get to see that. I know. I would have followed the ambulance. I'm like, I got to know how this turns out.
We would TikTok it. That's a TikTok for you. Yes. Right there.
Oh, my night at PF Chang's. Also, there could have been something on that needle. That's what I thought too. I'm like, honestly, what if there was something on that fucking needle? Mm-hmm. Like that? Yes, we're going to ER, but while we're here, do you mind?
Can I get a shot?
My God.
Shot, no big deal.
Dude, that level of extra is so.
Yeah.
I want a modicum of that self-confidence.
It's a person who hasn't been told no enough in their life. 100%. I always think of that episode of 30 Rock with John Hamm where he's in the bubble.
Yeah.
And so people just let him he could wear a tuxedo to PF Chang's and people would just act like it was normal because he's good looking.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I want the cojones to just show up for a date in a fucking ball gown.
Oh my God. The very first dinner we all get to go to for coronavirus, can we evening gown it up? Like
100.
Oh my God.
Fucking I'm going to go get my hair and makeup done.
No, I'm talking like prom level, the most extra. And we'll go to like Olive Garden.
You know what I want? I want to get roll-on glitter for my collarbones.
Décolleté.
I want like a whole roll-on glitter situation, really frosty eyelids.
Yeah, we're going to do the whole thing.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I want it to look like I fell face first into highlighter.
Oh my God. It's so great. We can listen to Blink 182 the whole way there. Okay. Another one from Reddit. Went on a date with this dental student in Chicago. He was originally from Greece, but grew up in Texas. So he had this thick accent and a very strange sense of humor. It was mostly just kind of awkward, but we were getting burritos, so I thought I'd stick it out. It was a Tinder date and the first date I've been on since ending a long-term relationship about 5 months earlier. And I will say he was very, very, very nice to look at.
Well, and we let these people get away with so much.
Exactly. About halfway through our food, we're talking about something completely random. And the guy sticks his finger into my mouth. Like one of those fish hook to the side kind of moves. I asked him what he thought he was doing.
No.
And he just kind of smiled and shrugged. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't walk out because I was broke at the time and I was happy someone was buying me a burrito. But sometimes I still think about how turned on he looked in that moment and feel sorry for anyone who has him for a dentist.
Wait, oh my God, I totally forgot that he was a dentist.
I hate this so much.
Oh my God, imagine. Okay, in the time of Corona, imagine somebody putting their finger
in your mouth. Unexpectedly, out of fucking nowhere.
Absolutely not. Oh God. I'm watching TV shows and movies right now and just being like, seeing people in groups together.
You're like
imagining a stranger putting his finger in my mouth in public,
thank you.
getting burritos while we're eating burritos. No,
Your
ma'am.
Mouth full of like carne asada,
like refried beans. No.
I'm like, what was he doing? Was he like checking her teeth or something, or like
well,
what?
Because it's also the hook motion is really weird. It would have been weird if he had just stuck it in, but then I would have been like, for sure, like this is some weird sex thing. But like he
hooked it.
Fish hook.
It's weird.
I don't know. It's a mystery.
It thinks I hate it.
I don't know. Okay. I had a guy come over and he was attractive, so we had sex and then went to sleep. I had to wake this kid up at noon and be like, okay, I have to get ready for work. You need to leave. First of all, he sleeps until noon from like a first date hookup. I'm like, you need
at a stranger's house. There is a time limit. Like
yes.
you have to be respectful, especially if you want to be invited back. It's like, don't stay for all that bullshit like coffee and something like I got an early work thing. Like get out of someone's space because then you're more likely to get the call back.
Well, yeah. I feel like that. I feel like even when we were kids sleeping over at friends' houses, unless it's like your best friend, you like kind of sense when it's time to call your mom to come pick you up, right?
Exactly.
Like you're like, it's time,
I've overstayed my welcome. It's 9 a.m.
Goodbye.
Not noon.
Yeah, your mom made me flapjacks and it's time for me to go home now. So he started to get dressed and couldn't find one sock. He accused me of stealing it. One sock. He searched through all my drawers and dumped out my dirty clothes hamper looking for it. I ended up finding it weeks later in my sock drawer. I kind of think he planted it there, but I'm not sure why.
What a creep. So he could go through all your shit. That's why.
And he dumped your lawn. Oh my God, that person would have been kicked out of my house so fast. Like he finally starts to leave and his car got towed because he parked exactly where I told him not to. Looking back now, I would have told him tough shit, gotten him an Uber and went to work. But I took him to the car tow place so he could get it back. And of course, he doesn't have his wallet. So I had to pay for it and sign for it because he doesn't have an ID on him.
Oh no.
But the car tow place doesn't take cards, so we had to go find an ATM to get cash. So he finally gets his car. I'm already like 30 minutes late for work, and he goes, okay, I'll call you later. No. And I just said, never talk to me again, and shut the door.
No.
He texted a few hours later and said he lost his stylus for his phone. I blocked his number.
You're like, bitch, buy a new one with the money I saved you from your fucking towed car. That's ridiculous.
And also, like, what kind of person? You're losing socks, you're losing cars, you're losing wallets, you're losing styluses. What's wrong with you?
It's sleeping till noon.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Sir,
not a my problem.
That is not that sounds like your problem.
I don't like that.
Oh my God.
Don't like that.
Wow. All right. So I worked at a casual mid-range chain restaurant a few years ago as a host. The restaurant works with dating service.
Was it PF Chang's?
No.
She's like, I had to wait on this crazy bench.
Whoa. A chain restaurant a few years ago as a host, the restaurant works with a dating service whereby the latter will make reservations for two people they deem fit for each other, essentially like a blind date. These reservations are always taken down as X first name and Y first name. So on this particular lunchtime, this woman, late 30s, arrives with an older woman in tow, says the name of the reservation. I hesitate for a bit because the reservation was made female name and male name, but there were clearly two people in front of me and both were female. But then it immediately dawned on me that this woman had brought her goddamn mother. I bring them to the table, and the entire time I was still kind of writing in shock. Surely enough, a man shows up 10 minutes later and says that he's meeting female name, that he was male name. At this point, I'm thinking, oh my God, because I was 100% sure this dude had no idea what he was in for.
Hey, if you were that hostess, are you just like
dying?
Ready for the drama?
You were literally like wiping the table next to them, or like
an hour.
watering a plant, or like anything around that table.
I think it's a TikTok. You've seen that one, right? Where like when my neighbors are fighting and he's out there like sweeping the grass or whatever. Like that would be me.
Totally.
100%. So I walk him to his table and he doesn't really pay attention until I gesture to where two women were sitting and say, "Here you are, sir. Enjoy." The look on his face was complete and utter disbelief. I don't think he said anything for a good 10 seconds. I was so goddamn awkward. Finally, he kind of gives me a little smile, then slowly slides into his chair. I couldn't walk away fast enough, and I just felt so sorry for the dude, and he had no idea what he was getting into.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine?
First of all,
details.
I can't imagine going on a date with my mom. I can't think of anything in the world I'd like to do less than that.
It has to be the worst thing.
Well, I need to know the age of this person too. Like,
they said she was mid-30s, the woman. So I'm like, it's someone my age bringing along
their
mom to a date, and it's
I'm pretty sure my mom is watching, and I love her dearly, but that doesn't sound like fun for my mom or for the date.
Exactly. It doesn't sound like fun for anyone.
No.
What is going on with that? What's your end game?
I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it.
I get literally thinking about like going on a date with my fucking
Oh my God.
Oh God.
I have a good ender.
Go for it.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So usually, of course, we tell my worst date stories on this podcast. And this is a worst date story, but it has a twist. Okay. Went to dinner. All was going well. She seemed okay until she noticed a scar on the far side of my collarbone. I tell her it was from a car accident when I had 3 of my ribs broken. Doesn't look super bad, but it is noticeable. She asks how big the scar is. I reluctantly tell her it goes down around my belly button. She made an ew face and said, "Oh." She then proceeded to go use the restroom and never came back.
What?
What a terrible person.
Dude,
first of all.
also, like, I don't know if
For
it's
a
just
scar?
me. I think scars are hot. Me personally.
I don't think that there's I absolutely don't think that there's any issue with any kind of scar, especially like he got into a car accident. Like, come on. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. After around 15 minutes, I realized what had happened, but decided to stay and eat. My waitress got to the table with the girl's food and asked where my date was. I tell her she ditched after using the restroom excuse. She proceeds to apologize that someone would do that to me and asks if she can join me for dinner as she was about to clock out. I tell her, of course. She seems very kind and cute. After talking for a while, we really clicked and exchanged contact info. We've now been together for 3 years. She's so beautiful and kind, and honestly, the best thing that ever happened to me, all thanks to the shitty Tinder girl.
Yes!
So thank you, Ashley.
Fucking
Happy ending to a worst date.
The best.
Yes.
The best. Oh, I love it.
I love stories like that. They make me so happy because it's kind of, I was just talking to a friend of mine tonight about, this is kind of like a crazy time to be alive, but trying to find the silver lining in things like learning about gardening and, shedding things that may not necessarily like serve me anymore, but this pause has given me the opportunity to really see what is important. And yeah, so I love those silver lining stories right now.
Oh,
Me
I
too.
think
Nice.
That was a good ender.
Thank
Nice job.
Well,
I miss you guys so much.
I know.
Do you guys want a distance hug this week?
I want to.
I miss your face.
Well, hey, if you guys checked out this virtual summit thing and you like what you hear, you can go check out more of our stuff. You can go to our one-stop shop of website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we really appreciate you guys taking time on a Thursday to come and drink White Claws and hang out with us. And we love you so much.
Cheers.